From the Rose Garden in Portland, Tom Hammond, Bill Walton, Steve Snapper Jones, Jim Gray. Game 3 of the Western Conference opening round series between the Lakers and the Trailblazers. The Lakers looking to sweep the Blazers for the second consecutive season.
Down at the other end of the floor, and then a pass might have been a little bit too hot. But Pippen doesn't control it, and that gets the Lakers within one.
The Blazers are trying to build off the big run that they had at the end of Game 2.
The game by the Trailblazers.
Phil Jackson.
Offensive rebounds, it's like yesterday's ball game. Seattle was getting all of them early. And then suddenly they couldn't get any because all of their shots were from the outside. So Portland's got to make those second chances pay.
Well, what did Phil Jackson tell us before the game? That the keys for Los Angeles are good shot selection, execution in the offensive zone to eliminate the turnovers so that the Blazers can't run out. They're a very hot home team, the Portland Trailblazers are, as Damon Stoudemire goes to the bench.
The struggling Damon Stoudemire has had a horrible series as they get the ball to Pippen right at the rim on the inbounds play. Stoudemire replaced by Derek Anderson, 6'5" in his 5th season from Kentucky. He's been a spark.
But the health has been a major problem for D.A. Sprained his ankle the first game of the season. Never really came back from it.
Shaq bounced 5 times and rolled through. Shaq has 4 points. They call it touch. For the 5th time in the last 6 years, and trying to sweep them for the 2nd consecutive year. Portland leads by 1 despite shooting 23%. Slam down off the inbounds play to Kobe.
Why don't teams play zone defense on the baseline out of bounds? Just put big wall of 3 guys right across there, have 2 guys watching the inbounds passer out at the free throw line, and you knock all that stuff out of the other team's repertoire.
It's almost an unwritten rule in the college game that you put the inbounds play under the basket as Derek Anderson hits his first shot.
Well, in the first 10 minutes of play, Portland trying to get in it, so execution has not been the story.
Fisher for 3.
Phil Jackson raving about the play of Derek Fisher. Out the Blazer backcourt.
Lakers up by 2. Tough catch by Anderson. Couldn't finish. Davis can't convert the tap, and Kobe the other way.
The Lakers normally don't look to be a running team out on the road and mistake out of it. This should turn Portland loose.
3-on-2 break. Pippen.
Remember the game to Shaq on that play. The defense by the Blazers. They've been very good on the perimeter defense. Bonzi Wells able to strip it away there and convert in transition. Bonzi right back to Scotty. That athleticism that they have on the perimeter has given Portland some sort of optimism to think they can compete here in a pushing out of bounds foul on the step-out defense.
Well, Wallace complaining, watch the hook. Yeah, you got the right call because I gave him a little extra hook. Hey.
Anything that would hurt us further down the road in the playoffs. Tom?
All right, Jim. Shaq gets a rest. And Steve Kerr is in for Pippen in the Portland lineup. Pippen with 6 points and 5 rebounds.
If you're Portland, right to the hoop. The second Shaq sits down.
They do, but Bonzi Wells can't finish. Robert Horry, the man who replaced Shaq, and it's picked off by Wells as they try to go to Horry.
Whenever Portland beat the Lakers, they've gotten a lot of turnovers. And out of the turnovers, they've been able to produce some numbers. So they've got to find their 3 primary offensive weapons out there now. Anderson, Wallace, or Wells, and let them go to work.
Wallace on the low block, attacking Horry. Got it. Inside the final minute of the first.
Porty play. Looks like they're coming back to Rashid for the last play of the quarter.
Back to Anderson. Shot good. Derek Anderson from Wallace. 5 seconds in the quarter. Fisher. Fouled by Steve Kerr with 1.7 seconds. That's all at NBCSports.com.
When everybody thinks alike, nobody thinks.
Just under 2 seconds left as Horry picks off the pass and whips it down court as the first quarter comes to a close. And at the end of the first quarter, the Blazers trying to avoid the sweep, tied with the Lakers at 19.
buddy. That's why it's so tough to beat the two-time champions.
Well, the one thing that Wallace has been able to do is get shots and make shots. And he's the only guy that's had really a lot of success. And then Derek Anderson in game one, but Anderson was not feeling well.
Brian Shaw hits one from Shaq as the ball goes into Shaq and he flashes it immediately back outside for the open shot. Bonzi Wells still having trouble finding the range.
Watch out.
Wells saves it after the steal. Anderson against Shaw. No good. Fisher the other way for the Lakers, but the defense is back.
We saw in that Timberwolves game where Kevin Garnett had a couple of big opportunities to make layups. You don't make them, and it ends up costing you. Same thing here. And to something for Shaquille O'Neal and the Lakers.
That play is open anytime you want it. You talk about is Brian Shaw a better shooter than Bonzi Wells or David Stoudemire? No, but he gets better shot attempts.
Shaq,
a player that just wears you down, and with Shaq shooting free throws at for him, a phenomenal percentage. He's up about 70% over the last month or so. Improved technique, improved rhythm.
He's 100% today. 4 of 4, 6 points. Ruben Patterson like a bowling ball.
They know
bodies every which way.
They know he's coming, and you see them close the lane. He's got to make an adjustment. As soon as he gets the ball, he's turning, and you see two people close that angle off. There's no way that call's going to go in his favor. Portland's defense has been good enough to cause the Lakers problems, but the Lakers have always been able to get a shot here, get a shot there. Lakers look up at the scoreboard, they're ahead by 5.
Devin George knifing to the basket for his first 2. No one's thinking. Sean Kemp, as expected, controls the tap. Kemp on the low post. If Horry passed to himself. Hey, what a move.
It was Meadowlark's birthday.
Over there waving the towel and cackling. But, he lost that ball on Horry's hip.
He did everything but put it under his jersey. Pippen back in the game. Immediately scores. He has 8 in the first half. And the Blazers climbing back within 1.
That's that transition game you're talking about, Steve. Blazers can't get it done in the half court, particularly with Rasheed Wallace on the bench. Where's your post-up game?
But, they want to do pace. And so they've got to work harder. They've got to force the turnovers, and then they've got to come back and cover. Yep.
Stoudemire on the bench, limiting Davis's and Kemp's minutes.
Steve Kerr shows he still has the shooting touch.
Well, you've got to get Kerr, Derek Anderson, and Ruben Patterson more time against this Laker team. You're not going to beat the Lakers in a physical game. It has to be about skill, and that's what those guys bring.
Kobe came back in at the timeout. He's left open, and he scores.
Now, that's the easiest shot that Bryant has had since game 1. He's wide open, and he...
After it comes inside, the defense rotates out. The quick snap pass right into the rhythm of Kobe's shot.
The Lakers, that hurts.
Horry.
Phil Jackson waiting for Robert Horry to have that customary offensive explosion.
Kerr, long three. Steve Kerr with 5 quick points.
Now, a lot of people question the quick shot that Steve Kerr took down in L.A. when the game got down to 6, but same kind of shot right there. He is capable of making that kind of shot, and that's why he's in the ball game this afternoon.
Devin George can't connect. Ruben Patterson.
It's always a good shot when it goes in. Closing week of the regular season here at the Rose Garden.
The offensive rebounds for Portland have been strong, but they can't convert them. They've gotten only 4 points off those 9 offensive boards.
All right, Tom, yesterday after practice, the Portland Trail Blazers, the entire coaching staff, including Jimmy Lynam, Shaquille O'Neal, they spent hours out on the floor, and they really haven't come up with anything that they think is going to work because this guy's unstoppable. I asked Shaq about it. He said he thought it was a tremendous compliment to him. And Phil Jackson was asked before the...
Well, Bonzi Wells is sitting as well. I mean, both of those guys are critical to him as Wallace goes to work.
Wallace is fouled by Robert Horry.
almost 13 rebounds, terrific field goal percentage.
Well, let me ask you this, Bill. Do you think his regular season numbers should be higher, given his ability?
Absolutely. I think he's a 25-point-per-game man. Backcourt violation, Robert Horry. And the press for the Blazers is working.
The trap, as Kerr came to trap, forces the turnover.
Put back to gather some momentum.
Well, mistakes have been abounding on both sides as Wallace comes around the bottom.
Baseline drive and the reverse layup. Rasheed Wallace now with 9 points.
Find yourself walking on the basketball court. You might as well just ask the coach to take you out.
Derek Anderson. Oh, looked like it was going to go down. It came out, but there's Dale Davis. The 11th offensive rebound for the Blazers. The Lakers have only one. Anderson for 3.
That play all set up because they're attacking Shaq and chance opportunities, Blazers.
But who are they attacking Shaq with? You keep telling me that Dale Davis is not doing anything.
It doesn't matter. Take the ball to Shaq. Whether that time it was Derek Anderson, it can be Rasheed Wallace. If you let Shaq just play
That's his 4th rebound.
As long as Portland is willing to play from the perimeter, the Lakers are going to let it. That plays right into the Lakers' trend of limiting them and their number of opportunities in the high percentage area.
Horry and 1 with Shaq's 5th assist of the game. Rasheed Wallace, instead of sticking with Horry, decided to double-team Shaq, and they burned him.
Low to bring everybody's hands down. By bringing the defender's hands down, then he's able to zip it over the top, right past their defender's head. A little ball fake. Everybody down low. Robert Horry gets the easy layup and the 3-point play opportunity.
2-point deficit. Shaq, the leading assist man in the game, with 5. Kerr off a screen from Davis. And the Blazers execute. Davis sets the screen, gives it back, and the shot good.
As the Lakers have.
If you're the Lakers, have Kobe Bryant drive to the hoop. You got short change last time. The refs will get him to the line this time.
How about a 3?
Or that.
That's a shot that got him in trouble in game 1. He made 2 of those in a row. Thought he was red hot and continued to fire away from deep.
Easy board for Kobe.
Now, you know, Steve Kerr was waving out there again, and Wallace probably should have deferred on that first shot.
I think they should give Steve Kerr a red flag.
He needs one, doesn't he? He's been invincible a couple of times when he was spotted for a wide-open look at a 3-pointer.
Well, you know, that's why he's on the team. He is a stick. He can shoot in NBA history. And so if you have to take out a big red number and put it on the board and say, this is Steve Kerr. So when he's in the game, make sure he's getting the ball in these areas.
Speaking of shooting, Shaq is 7 of 8. Wow. Jinx, wasn't it? Steve Kerr, a career 46% three-point shooter. As Steve said, tops a championships for Phil Jackson's Bulls and 1 in San Antonio. Chris Dudley, just off the bench, the go-to man. Here's Pippen for 3. No good. And Shaq makes sure.
That is something that I have not understood throughout Dudley's career. You know he's not a great offensive player. You don't give him tries in the low post. You tell him, get it off the glass, put it back in.
Minute 20, first half.
Blazers need better on-court leadership.
Watch out.
O'Neal, Chris Dudley will send Shaq back to the line after his streak of free throws was broken.
And try to slap that away down low. Shaq's not going to lose that ball. Get in the air and knock it away.
And game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals here on NBC. Big Saturday. Well, Harlan's Holiday is the favorite, Bill, but it's one of those years when it's completely wide open. There's going to be about 24, 25 horses that want to run. The limit is 20. And we could have big boxcar figures if you want to send any money back with me.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What are boxcar figures?
Well, big payoffs for whoever wins the Derby because there's a lot of long shots.
Okay.
And not one dominant horse.
Oh, what a pass.
Fox almost rolled out on him, but it went down. And LA's on a 12-2 run that's given them their biggest lead.
This is what Portland didn't want to happen. Let the Lakers get a little momentum going into the break and then make it tough for them. They're going to gamble on Dudley, and it results in a steal.
2-on-1 break. Fox hands to Kobe, and he is fouled by Pippen.
The Blazers have gotten happy with their three-point shot attempts. Pippen, Michael Jordan, Robert Horry, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Tony Kukoc. It's an endless list of guys who flash in and play that post-game.
For the Lakers, and they have hit 14 of the 17.
We mentioned Tex Winter. Congratulations to Tex for being nominated once again. I really hope he gets into that Hall of Fame this year. This guy deserves it so much. He has given his life to basketball.
His bench as LA explodes here in the last couple of minutes.
This is supposed to be his last year actively on the bench, so we'll find out whether he takes a break.
I hope not. That's a lot of fun spending time with him before the games.
Los Angeles assuming control here in the last couple of minutes of the half. Fisher for three, and that just adds to it. The Lakers continue to roll and now are up by 9 in the final seconds of the first half.
All their guys who are in foul trouble are on the bench. Spread the floor, let Scotty penetrate, and then kick it off to Steve Kerr for a three.
Kobe knocks it away from Pippen. Blazers get it back with 3.6 seconds.
Now they have to think about their final 3:46 when they go into the locker room. Ball 10 and Shaq is out, but you know, a lot of what you do in the playoffs really relies on your opponent you draw.
Pippen blocked by Kobe as the first half comes to a close.
And that's why I voted for Kobe for Defensive Player of the Year.
When everyone thinks not. LA ends the half on a 16-4 run. Stay tuned now for Ahmad and Tom on Verizon Wireless at the half, the NBA on NBC.
Better, Shaquille O'Neal said, I'm going to concentrate on the boards here in the second half.
Samaki Walker missing, but got his own rebound. Still can't get it down. And picked up by Scottie Pippen. It's Pippen, Wells, Daniel Davis, and Rasheed Wallace slams that one home. And Dalen Stoudemire starts the second half. He played only 7 minutes in the first half.
Last Sunday of the season, it was their sprint team that did it for them. See if they can stay with it. Good block, Bonzi Wells.
Stoudemire pushing for the Blazers. Here's Pippen. Lob pass for Wells. And the jam.
Lakers have been in this position a million times before. They know that there's going to be no whistles the third quarter of a decisive game here.
Kobe Bryant passing inside to Samaki Walker. Over Wallace, no good. Pippen had his hands on it, now controls it.
We got to call that.
Dale Davis knocks Rick Fox to the court. That's 4 fouls on Dale, and it turns the Blazers over just when they were on a run.
When they can get out and get to the rim, they know that they can control the game. Wallace, and he looked like he was in pain on that one, but these are the kind of plays that bring the crowd to their feet, and those are the ones that get Bonzi Wells going. He comes down with 2, so they get back-to-back fast breaks.
She could be more effective if he would turn and face. They have to back up. He's got that incredibly high release. Nice post entry pass to Scotty.
And Pippen converts. 12 points for Scottie Pippen. And full court pressure again from Portland. The Lakers have missed their first 6 shots.
Play, Scottie Pippen has scored right at the rim.
If the Lakers don't net up with Shaq in the middle, that would never be there.
The jump hook. Blazers got it back after it was deflected out by the Lakers, and they go right to Wallace for the jump hook. They've scored 8 in a row.
And the team's a lot better right now than it was when they closed the half.
1-point game. Fox blocked by Pippen, but he got him on the arm.
Fans in it now.
2 of 3 at the line for Rick Fox. And the Lakers have a 3-point advantage.
Well, it depends on the scoreboard. I mean, at some point, he's hoping this kid is going to make a hoop and he's going to come alive. He's going to make something happen.
Plus, they're playing well right now. There's an assist for Stoudemire as Pippen knocks down the 3, and we're tied at 52. Fox an open 3. No good. And Stoudemire the rebound. You called him out. He's got an assist and a rebound. And the drive to the hoop. Shaq says,
Maybe somebody should have said something earlier.
Pippen is fouled.
And the Lakers' argument is offensive foul here with Scotty's ribcage. But the penetration and dish by Damon Stoudemire freeing up Scottie Pippen.
Well, Pippen has really made it a point to try to be aggressive.
Pippen has given the Blazers their first lead since they were up 37-36 in the second quarter.
7 points in a quarter for Scottie Pippen, and it's a huge game for Pippen, who had been struggling against these Lakers.
Robert Horry replaces Samaki Walker for the Lakers. Into Shaq.
But whenever they get in trouble, they always go to Shaq.
And he is fouled. Pippen came away with the ball. The fans thought he traveled.
Kemp with 4. Blazers have not spent an inordinate amount of time with the referees today.
And Shaq, a free throw machine, continues his onslaught.
The way that they're going to win the game is to continue to play at the pace and the way that they've been playing. Pippen rebound.
Good set of this game.
And Scottie Pippen has led the charge for the Blazers. Here's Bonzi Wells. The no-look pass to Wallace. Beautiful pass. And Wallace converts.
Phil Jackson.
But Kobe Bryant's defense disrupted the shot attempt, forced up the knuckleball. Kobe reaching in there to distract the delivery of Bonzi Wells.
Eric Anderson has replaced Pippen. Bonzi Wells had trouble getting control, regained his balance, and hit the short jump shot. Bonzi Wells now with 8 points.
And with the Blazers going inside, they've got the Lakers back on their heels for the first time in this series since the opening quarter of Game 1.
6 minutes left in the third. Shaq.
What they've got is Shaq receiving the ball further out on the floor as he's trying to steady the ship for the Lakers, who are still without a field goal.
John Kemp looking at the referee saying, what is an offensive foul out here today?
Rasheed Wallace fouled by Robert Horry. No basket. The Portland Trailblazers are blazing to start the third. They're in front.
And had a 9-point advantage. So, Bill, you got to make shots. If you're going to win in the championship game or at this level, you got to be able to score.
Rasheed Wallace can't on that possession. Kemp hammered as he takes it back up. Offensive rebound has been one consistent strong element for the Blazers today.
A very lackluster third quarter here for Los Angeles. They seem to be a little bit overconfident.
Lombardo and Gary Vitti. He has a sore left knee. It's badly bruised. He is available to return for this game, but he will be re-examined tonight and tomorrow before practice, if in fact they practice. Tom?
You see how the Lakers, the defense has been energized. They still have been able to keep Shaq without a field goal. Kemp is going to pick up the personal foul, but they're up, they're on the ball, they're making the Lakers set up further out on the floor. Real Shaquille O'Neal will show up at the free throw line. 1 of 2 last time, he gets the first.
Well, Steve, he's changed his free throw rhythm and technique. He's got nicer arch. He's got a good, smooth delivery with the flex knees, hips, and the unworking feet that have turned and face and go right at him. Change the direction, momentum of this series.
Stoudemire for 3. Portland's outscored the Lakers 19-5. Now Kobe Bryant gets the first field goal of the quarter with 4 minutes and 42 seconds.
If you're Portland, you got to keep moving the ball. You got to keep moving people. You cannot hold it. Well, tough shot.
Bonzi Wells turning baseline and catching everyone by surprise as he banks it home. Pretty move by Bonzi Wells.
Eric Anderson doing a great job right up in the backcourt. They're making Fox handle that ball a lot, and that's good for Portland.
Fox gets away, though, and hits the shot. Rick Fox has 8.
We're coming back to Bonzi here.
On the low post.
Well, what they're trying to do is make Bonzi give it up. That time he boots it off his foot.
He gave it up. He bounced it off his foot.
This whole season, Bonzi has been marred by careless turnovers.
Kobe pulls up over Wallace, who came to help from the weak side. And Kobe, with back-to-back buckets, has 18 points. Rasheed Wallace.
Shaq is playing a real strong mental game. He's just seeing the whole floor.
Stoudemire threw it away. Fox stepped into the passing lane to pick it off.
Well, when Portland made their runs, they weren't making turnovers. They've made a couple here in the last couple of possessions, and the Lakers are within 1.
Kobe looks to give him the lead. Came up short, but he was fouled. And here goes Rasheed Wallace. The fuse is ticking.
You look at Steve Gabby, and he's got the quickest whistle in town. You don't want to fool around with Steve Gabby because it'll get more than one team.
The Blazers are ahead. What are they doing here?
He's tight.
Second one goes down, ties it at 62. Portland with 3 turnovers.
Against Stoudemire here. Terrific on defending the pick and roll. Maybe one of the best in the league.
Normally when this play comes up, it's a play for him.
Damon Stoudemire arching it high and down the net. His first field goal of the game.
Make the Lakers have to shoot under some pressure. Don't let Shaq get going.
Fisher for 3. Big shot. Derek Fisher knocks down the three-pointer.
Again, the pick and roll. They're going to try to keep Shaq involved out of the lane.
Derek Anderson. Looked like he was fouled. No whistle. Stoudemire for 3.
This is what the Blazer fans have come to love. 32 years of the franchise existence. Passionate play.
Kobe for 3.
Kobe is not a great deep shooter. The longer the game goes on, the more his shot flattens out.
Anderson for 3. Won't go down. Looks like Stoudemire to me, though, is playing with more confidence now in a spring in his step. Meanwhile, Robert Horry is slow getting back down court. That abdominal muscle looked to be bothering him. He was holding his abdominal area. There's Fox, fall away, rolls in.
What ball movement by Los Angeles. But the way
Bonzi Wells against Fox. Nice move to get away from him momentarily, but he couldn't convert the shot. And the rebound by George. Lakers can take the final shot of the quarter.
Normally they put it in this guy's hand. Final shot, he's looking at the clock. He's going to be coming with something, and the Trailblazer defense has got to react. If you're the Lakers, you move in the direction of Kobe.
Bonzi Wells deflects it away. Lakers get it back with 1.8 on the clock.
A double team Kobe put the onus on Devin George to hit the big shot. He hasn't had much of a game today, very few opportunities.
Robert Horry, three-pointer, just missed. As the third quarter came to a close. Third quarter that saw the Portland Trailblazers get back into it. 67-67 at the end of 3. Back to Portland after these words from your local NBC station. You're watching the NBA playoffs on NBC. 67.
They've done it on the defensive end. They've taken 9 percentage points off the overall field goal percentage for the Lakers, and they've continued to control the board, and they're attacking the rim.
Bonzi Wells attacks the rim and avoids Robert Horry, and a foul to lay it in.
Can extend their season is going to be foul trouble. Scotty's got 4. Sean Kemp already got 5. Dale Davis with 4 of his own.
They got to use them all. Doesn't make any
Wells spinning away, the ball fake. Yes, and one. Bonzi Wells responding with back-to-back field goals to start the fourth quarter.
On the 14th, Bonzi Wells had 18 points in that quarter, which went to a double overtime game. He is the kind of player that if you get him started, particularly down in the low post, it's very difficult to shut him down. Back-to-back buckets and a chance for a three-point play.
And now that the crowd is in it, Phil Jackson's worst nightmares about the ever-elusive momentum coming to the fore here.
Well, remember the word he used, tension. You don't want to get tension into the series. Well, the Lakers are tense right now.
You see the foul trouble. But Bonzi Wells has been hot to start the fourth. A runner by Horry, no good. Shaq nudges it in.
What a lucky tip that was.
Oh, that's a great player. That's a heat check. Just shoot a hook next time, Shaq. You're hot.
Watch 15 for Shaq. Here's the steal. And the slam down by Devin George, who deflected it to start the play. So the Lakers come right back.
Why do they even have a rule book? Now this is a magnificent sense of timing, skill.
What did you call the knockdown on the other end? Skill, timing. Look at this. That's all finesse.
He's standing there. Shaq just stood there, and Bonzi ran into him and fell down.
Third foul on Shaq. Steve Kerr. Floater for Kerr. Pretty shot.
They got a lineup of nothing but skilled players for Portland, and that's why they're able to.
Paxson said he's got to have a big game. He hadn't had it yet.
Derek Anderson right around him. Shaq though to come help. And a foul, number 4 on Shaq.
Everything for Portland is at the rim. Going to the hoop. Scottie Pippen enjoying this, even though he's got foul trouble. 4 for him. Derek Anderson, who's been very successful by wrong-footing the Lakers on his forays to the hoop.
For Ori. Derek Anderson. Had the flu in Game 2. Still managed to play, and he's been another major part of the Portland comeback here.
The patience are. Derek Anderson just plays with a smile on his face all the time. That's just so enjoyable to watch.
Always has, like he was enjoying himself, would rather be doing nothing else. They dump it inside to Rick Fox, who converts, so Shaq has another assist. That's 7, a season high.
And Kobe just waits patiently and blocks it away.
Anderson's going to go right back and almost got it down. He'll shoot a couple of free throws, and there's that big grin. Derek Anderson always plays with a smile.
Basketball.
Derek Anderson notches both free throws. And the Blazers again are up 5. Full court pressure.
Got to get to the rim. They got to keep shooting free throws.
Shaq missed it, but he got it back. And puts it through. Shaquille now with 17.
And yes, the frustration by Rasheed Wallace.
Into Portland. If Portland can hold the Lakers here and come back and score, they can take some of that pressure off themselves. The Lakers get a score, they're going to feel good about themselves and tie it up.
Kobe Bryant for 3. He has 22 in the game, and it's 78 apiece.
And you do all that hard work, and you look up there, and emotionally you're saying, oh, man, we haven't gotten rid of these guys.
Pippen inside to Wallace, right underneath. Caught it right at the rim and put it home.
That type of quick hitting action, the Blazers need a lot more of that.
And he doesn't like to work from here.
Shaq with a ball fake, and then the shot over Dale Davis. Wondering why a ball fake. Who was going to block it? Back to 19 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. And there they attack the rim snapper, and Bonzi Wells draws the foul.
Every side, seeds of doubt may be creeping in for the Lakers.
Ruben Patterson told all the fans that would listen to him in L.A., you got to come to our place. We'll beat you up there.
Reach in by Wells, results in a steal. 3-on-2 break. Here's Wells. Fisher broke it up. Kobe the other way. Shaq throws it down.
Derek Fisher. Big threes, taking charges, coming back. He's done that 2 or 3 times today already. Stripped the ball on what seemed to be a sure layup for Portland.
One of the unsung heroes for the Los Angeles Lakers, Derek Fisher. Deflected by Fox. A careless pass from Pippen.
Oh, my.
And Fox gets an easy lane to the hoop. And all of a sudden, the Blazers have fallen apart.
Great defense by the Los Angeles Lakers. And the Portland Trail Blazers, who come and get in transition here, but with Derek Fisher able to poke it away. Order for the world champions has been restored with the thundering dunk in transition, and the Lakers run an 11-4 run.
To come back and avoid the sweep. Here's Shaq. Back to Kobe. Launches a three. And rebounded by Wallace. I don't know about that shot selection by Kobe Bryant.
Both teams fatigued, and they're taking that shot, which will be the easiest one to get and make them a hero.
Stoudemire does take the three that time, and he hit it. Big shot for Damon Stoudemire, who has been struggling throughout the series.
Blazers up with the press, forcing Fox to take time off the clock.
Fox lost it. Last touch by Rick Fox. It'll be Blazer basketball.
Starting.
Shaq on the offensive end, inside the final 2 minutes. Jump hook comes away. Rebounded by Wallace. 11 rebounds for Rasheed. Portland has turned it over 3 times in the last 3 minutes. That shot will not count. Whistle blows. I couldn't hear it.
It's a foul away from the ball, Tom.
Thank you, Bill. Foul on Rick Fox.
Derek Anderson is bursting to the ball. And Rick Fox is so critical in this Laker attack. Now picks up his 3rd foul.
And this is where the free throw is such a good friend of yours if you're making them. And the Lakers have yet to shoot 1 free throw in the 4th.
Meanwhile, Portland is now 8 for 8. There's the perfect shooting by Portland. And the Lakers have yet to attempt one.
And you can tell when teams aren't getting calls what it does to the coach. Phil Jackson up, barking at the officials. But the Lakers down by 3.
Shaq was down and they didn't take advantage of it.
Shaq did not come down court. And Rasheed Wallace inexplicably shoots an 18, 20-footer.
Shaq too deep.
And Dale Davis fouls out of the game. At least he kept his shirt on today.
So far. 5 on 4, and they settled for an 18-foot jumper by Rasheed Wallace.
Shaq, who has shot free throws so well today, 11 of 15, makes 8 rebounds. Shaq missed them both, and Sean Kemp, who replaced Davis, corrals the rebound and gives it to Stoudemire inside the final minute. 3-point Blazer lead. They have the ball. 45 seconds to play. 10 on the shot clock. Tipping baseline on Kobe. Slammed home by Rasheed Wallace. Timeout Lakers. Portland by 5.
For the offensive stick back.
The Blazers always a team to wear their emotions on their sleeves, but positive emotion here. Underneath, Rick Fox knocks it through, and it's a 3-point game with 30 seconds.
That took 6.5 seconds to get a layup.
Well, if you're Portland, you use all of the time and try to shoot at the end of your shot clock possession.
Rasheed Wallace doubled by Kobe, who fouled him.
That might be it for Kobe Bryant. Not just 5th.
5th foul on Kobe, who has just 3 points in this 4th quarter. And Rasheed Wallace, who has a double-double, 12 rebounds to go with those 19 points.
You say what you will about Wallace, but his presence out on the floor has caused nothing but problems for the Lakers. And this will be a big chance for him. And this is that first free throw.
For a player of Rasheed Wallace's low post capabilities to only have 2 free throw attempts prior to this scenario here, kind of puzzling.
Got the second one. He has 20 points and 12 rebounds. Timeout, Lakers. 90-86, back to Portland for the conclusion after this from your local NBC station. Lead for the Blazers, 17.1 on the clock.
Lakers do not need a 3 here. Just quickly get to the hoop and then foul immediately.
There is a 3 by Kobe, and he got it. Kobe Bryant knocks down a three. It's a one-point game, 12.7. Pippen has the ball. Fox wanted to know should he foul or not, and he does with 10.8. Fox looking back at the bench before he committed the foul.
Well, you're in a position where if you don't foul, the Lakers hold the ball for 8 seconds, even if you get a violation. Now, we're saying don't take the three, and they go against conventional wisdom, and Kobe, who normally does not make three-pointers late, comes up with a huge one.
If we all thought alike, Bill.
Scottie Pippen's got the two huge free throws here.
First one is good. Still, even if he makes both of them, it would only be a three-point lead with 10.8.
But if it's a three-point lead, a perfect opportunity to foul and not give the Lakers a chance to even time.
If you're the Lakers, you got to be ready for a rebound. If you're Portland and you get the ball back, you run the clock out. You missed it.
Fox, timeout. That's the final timeout for the Lakers. It's a 20-second timeout. The Lakers' final timeout. So 10.3 seconds left, and it's a 2-point Portland lead. Phil Jackson wanted his players to play like champions, and they certainly have not given up like champions.
Well, Pippen, and you can see his reaction is not a good one. He pulled off of it. Gum goes out. Anything else in his mouth would have gone out at that point.
Normally playing on the road down two, I like to go for the three-pointer, get the victory, and get out of here. But when you have Shaq, that changes everything.
In this game, you got to go for the tie. This game has been so uneven, and it's been so unpredictable. You got to go for the tie, and you got to put the pressure on the officials. And now we'll find out whether Shaq's big statement comes up. I make them when I need to.
That's right. If they go into Shaq, Portland will foul him immediately, one would assume. And he had an excellent game at the free throw line, but missed his last two.
So they brought Sean Kemp into the lineup for defense on Shaq.
To me, the most dangerous guys out on the floor, Kobe Bryant with the ball himself, and Rick Fox off the ball if he's the inbounder.
And Rick was going to be the inbounder. Portland sees that, and Mo Cheeks calls a timeout, a 20-second to plan the strategy. That leaves Portland with one timeout. The Lakers do not have any. There's the timeout situation. Both teams in the penalty.
If Shaq gets the ball down deep, foul him here.
If the Lakers win, they sweep Portland for the second straight year. If the Trailblazers can win, they will force a Game 4 here on Wednesday.
Derek Anderson coming in a ball game. I'm going to get a guy that's very quick in the passing lane into the ball game.
They've taken Sean Kemp out now on that timeout with the substitution by Maurice Cheeks. Wallace playing Shaq.
Fox to inbound. Kobe calls for it. He has it against Ruben Patterson. The Kobe stopper. Bryant dishing off. Horry for three. The crowd is stunned. Robert Horry, his coach, said he needed to have a big game. Well, the shots don't get any bigger than this. Will this complete the Lakers sweep? Horry knocks down the three. Timeout. The Lakers lead by 1. 2 seconds left.
Broke down right at the top, and Ruben Patterson got beaten. They got what they wanted. They forced Robert Horry to shoot it deep.
Penetration and dish. That's what wins championship. Guys like Horry can knock those down. Now the Blazers have to go right away, and Shaq's going to guard the ball. You cannot expect the referees to bail you out if you're Portland here. Be strong.
O'Neal guarding the inbound pass from Pippen. He just lobs it right to Horry. Fittingly, Robert Horry intercepting that inbound pass and immediately is fouled. And Scottie Pippen, who missed a crucial free throw, throws it away on the inbound play.
Floating passes into the post. You need to rifle balls into guys' shooting motion. Rasheed Wallace never really opened. He had a good mismatch. They set an outstanding screen up top. Scottie had a lot of time, but Shaq up there towering, casting a massive shadow over Scottie Pippen, unable to get a good angle on the post-entry pass.
Yeah, that pass wasn't even close. I mean, they ran a play which had Wallace in a perfect spot.
Robert Horry, who hit the clutch three, misses the free throw, but the Lakers knocking down 2 3-pointers, one by Kobe, one by Horry, in 10 seconds. Timeouts left for either team.
If you're Robert Horry, you missed this free throw.
Right. With 35 seconds to go, LA trailed by 5 points.
But you have to hit the rim, unlike the guy in the game the other night at Indiana.
There's the miss. That'll be it. The Los Angeles Lakers, for the second consecutive year, have swept the Portland Trail Blazers. And they have now knocked them out in 4 straight seasons and 5 of the last 6. An improbable comeback victory by the Lakers behind the 3-point shots by Kobe Bryant and the big one from Robert Horry. The Lakers advance with the sweep of the Trailblazers, 92-91. The NBA playoffs on NBC continues Saturday following the Kentucky Derby with Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals, Dallas against either Sacramento or Utah. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, don't miss a special Weakest Link, followed by Law & Order Criminal Intent. So for Bill Walton, Steve Jones, and Jim Gray, Tom Hammond saying so long from Portland. You've been watching the NBA playoffs on NBC.
So good for Portland, who went without a field goal for the final 3.5 minutes. And now we are joined live here in Portland by the man who hit the game-winning shot, Robert Horry. Congratulations, Robert.
Thanks a lot. We needed that one.
Talk about the play and how it came down.
Well, it started from the beginning of, the first half when Kobe hit me twice. I missed 2 short jumpers. I told him going in the half, I said, I'm not missing anymore if you give it to me. Coming back out to the 3 line and we'll knock it down. He came to me and I was able to knock it down.
Did you want the ball in that situation? Was that designed to go to you, or was it Kobe working on Patterson, and if there was nothing there, you were standing on the side?
Well, actually, it was a play for, Kobe to go to the hole and do his thing. But, Kobe's such a great player that he know we're going to be in that corner waiting on the pass out, and Pippen bit a little bit too far, and I was able to knock the 3 down.
When you touched that ball, the minute you had it in your hands, time is running out. What are you thinking?
Well, you don't think anything. That's the problem. If you think, you miss. I wasn't thinking just catch and shoot. And if I miss it, go to the boards and try to get the rebound. So I just wanted to catch it, and shoot it, and luckily it fell for me.
Certainly today it was a struggle at times. This was not an easy victory.
No, it wasn't. They killed us in the first half on the boards. That's one of the things. They came out with a lot of intensity, crashing the boards, getting rebounds. But we was able to withstand that, keep them at bay. It took a little run there, but we stayed poised. We stayed in the game. We did the things we needed to do to get back in the game and win it at the end.
Now you have 12 to go. You've swept them, 12 to go. Do you enjoy this one, or do you start thinking about the next one?
Well, you get ready. It's still got a lot of time to work on ourselves. We did a lot of things out there that we need to improve on. They watch the games. They know they trapped us. They get a little pressure and we turn it over. So we just got to improve on ourselves, not worry about who win the next series.
Robert, thanks a lot. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, there goes Robert Horry. He hit the game winner out of the corner, and the Lakers sweep the Blazers out of the playoffs. Stay with us. More of our post-game show live from the Rose Garden in Portland.